Okay, it looks like we're live.
Well,
Welcome, everybody. Actually, I was just going to say that I haven't seen you on with Cross Paths recently,
I was
and
on
I don't.
Wednesday. Wednesday just passed.
Last Wednesday,
Yeah, I was on. It
last
was just
yeah,
me and Dave.
yeah. I did see that, and then
Sorry.
didn't see you on Friday or Saturday. I didn't know if they were going to do one, and if they did they tell you if they're going to do one this Wednesday or Friday, or did they say?
I think that we're going to try and do the readings on Wednesdays. I think Lucian started work. He
Mm-hmm.
started working again. And the poor soul's doing shifts. Do you know what I mean? He's doing awkward shifts, and between like there's nights when he works till 7 o'clock, and of course 7 o'clock there is like my midnight. So I think it's just kind of trying to work
Yeah.
between the two, you know. So I don't think that we're going to be able to be as consistent about going live at like my 10 is your what five, your five and my 10 o'clock. I don't
Yeah.
think that we're going to be able to do that consistently every Wednesday and Friday. Um, but I think we're still going to try and do Wednesdays, even if it is just Dave and I that can do it.
Yeah.
Jackie
Well,
Jacaranda, hi Jackie.
hi, Jackie. Well, I'm going to miss Lucian, so I hope he can find a way to work something out.
Oh, I'm sure Lucian will still make himself seen. I'm sure he won't make himself a stranger.
I don't know what his schedule is. Is he working every day, or did he tell you?
Oh
Or
gosh, I
no?
think if I remember correctly, Lucian works. He gets Fridays and Saturdays off, maybe.
Oh, so they could do a live on Friday or Saturday, maybe. I don't
Maybe,
know.
yeah.
Whatever.
Need to wait and see what they do.
Uh, what was I going to say? So, what's been going on with you? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, yeah. I'm off on annual leave. I'm off work
Huh?
this week. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a nice relaxing week off. Me and my partner we're going to look at wedding rings tomorrow morning.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, we're going to do that, and then we're going to go out for lunch. Our government is running a kind of it's an incentive to get people going out to restaurants, and you know get money coming into restaurants. So you're basically getting your meal for half price, up to a tenner per person, up to
Hmm.
£10 per person, if that makes sense. So we're going to go out, I think, and take advantage of that. So yeah, that's the day that we've got planned tomorrow. And then we just got our wedding invites and today. So we're going to be busy writing them out and getting them sent out to people. So that's
Nice.
very exciting.
Yeah, it is
Um,
exciting. Hey, Sophie.
oh, Sophie, hiya. Sophie's a
It's
wee star.
funny you mentioned wedding rings because I was just watching an old Benny Hill YouTube where there was a skit about wedding rings, and he plays this woman, and she says to her husband, they were walking past a jewelry shop, with
Mm.
wedding rings in them in the window, and she goes, "I told him to go. I told him to go buy that ring." And he did. He walked right by that ring. Bad joke, but anyway, it doesn't. It's funnier when Benny Hill says it. Does it?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Jackie, the big day is in 6 months' time. It's the 20th of February next year. Um, so yeah, that's we we actually got engaged like on the 13th of August 2018. So I've been engaged for 2 years now, and the reason that it's been so long is because we faffed about. I didn't plan it, like we weren't in any hurry to plan it. And at the time, I think we were a wee bit annoyed at ourselves for not kind of getting a move on with it. But now we're so glad that we faffed about, because if we had been quick about booking it, we would have been booked right in the middle of this coronavirus
Mm.
pandemic. And like my wee brother, is also got engaged just after me, actually. He got engaged after me, but they were quick about getting their wedding planned, and poor souls, they've had to move it. They were supposed to be getting married in April, and now they're getting married next month, and they're not able to have as many guests as what they were going to have to begin with. So it's a real shame for them. And I'm kind of glad it's a bit of, what do you call that when it's a happy
Coincidence?
yeah, is it
Or
serendipity? Is that the right phrase that I'm thinking
I
of?
don't know.
But yeah,
Happy accident.
yeah, that's it. It was a happy accident. So yeah, sorry, that was a really long answer to 6 months from now, on the 20th of February.
Hi, Simon.
Hey Simon, how you
There was
doing?
actually we had two weddings over the weekend. Donna Ozark Oracle, her son got married.
Oh,
And
was it our son? Right, okay. I wasn't sure. I saw
yeah,
pictures on Facebook because I've got Donna on Facebook.
and Antonella, the fabulous fellow's little sister, got married too. So two weddings
I
this
saw that.
weekend on the same day. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's exciting. It's an exciting time.
So what was involved in the wedding invites?
Uh,
You
do you
got them?
know,
You want to show us?
they're just over there. I suppose I could. The thing is, I've not sent them out yet. But
Oh.
I mean, I don't think anyone that I know actually knows that I go live on YouTube.
Mm.
Oh well, if they do, then this is going to spoil the surprise. If you give me 2 wee seconds, I'll go and grab one and show
Yeah.
you. Okay.
If anybody in the chat has anything you want us to discuss tonight, pop it in the window there. Any questions or anything? So what was the process for the cards and for the invites?
Oh, we used a company. It was off Etsy. We got them. So we just told that this is it's like an invite. They do wedding invites, we just told them what they wanted, and they threw it together for us. So right, so historically I'm a really really big Harry Potter fan. So I just want a small disclaimer, because recently, with the author of Harry Potter and some of the stances that she's taken, um, they go completely against my morals and what I think, and I've kind of taken a bit of the huff with Harry Potter, if I'm totally honest with you. We had decided on this particular thing and some of the other themes in the wedding before I'd really become aware of all of that. So I just want to put that out there. But so these are my wedding invites. So it's kind of like the Marauder's map from Harry Potter.
Oh wait, let me put you on full screen. Solo layout.
There we go. So that's it. They open out like that,
Oh, nice.
and then they
Oh
open out.
yeah.
They open out this way. So it's kind of got all
Wow,
the details and stuff.
that's really involved.
Yeah. So we're really happy with them. So we are.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
yeah, that's so we got them in today. And my best friend was over with my niece. And I watch my niece on a Monday, and whilst my friend works, and usually she'll work here from my office, like she works from home anyway, but usually on a Monday she'll come over and I'll take Sophie and she'll work from my office. So she got her invite. I got to give her it away. So yeah, that was nice to give out that first wedding invite. It was exciting.
How old is your niece?
Sophie's 2. She's
Oh,
2 years old.
a little young to be a flower girl, probably. No,
Oh
or
no,
not? No,
she'll
she
be our
will.
flower girl. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
yeah. Oh yeah, she loves to throw things, so that's right up her street. Sorry, Robin, did I get you? I was joking. Yeah. No, she'll make a fantastic flower
Well,
girl. We'll just need to get a teacher to like spread the petals with elegance and not like. Do you know what I mean?
And then you
There's
can give
Sarah, Water
give
Child
her.
Taro. Hi,
You
Sarah.
can throw rice at the end of the ceremony.
Yeah.
So, what are you drinking today? Anybody drinking tea? Since I mentioned these are mad tea parties. I don't know why. That's just a random thing, but I've got iced Bigelow's cinnamon stick iced tea. What are you drinking? Coffee?
I've got tea.
Mm.
I believe that I'm not sure if it's decaf or normal. Usually he'll make me decaf at this time because we're up early in the morning, so I'm hoping it's decaf. We'll see.
Hi, Sarah. Sarah just joined in and she just heard you're getting married.
Yeah, I saw that. Oh, decaf coffee with almond milk. That sounds really nice, Simon. My favourite drink is a white chocolate mocha with coconut milk. Really, really
Mm.
tasty. From Starbucks. If you ever take the notion. Jackie's got cloudy lemonade. Oh, Sarah's having a cheeky wee homebrew beer. Why not, Sarah?
What's cloudy lemonade?
It's exactly what it sounds like. It's lemonade that's not like clear, it's cloudy. Like you've got like kind of
Not
well,
much,
is it bits of lemon through it? Or I'm
not
not
much
sure actually.
water in it, I guess. Most
It's,
lot of
it's
lemon.
nice. It's nice and tasty. It's quite bitter. But it's lovely.
Well,
Simon, a short coconut milk, white chocolate mocha. If you don't get the whipped cream, I'm pretty sure it's about 8 cents. You need to look it up, but I'm pretty sure it's around about 8 cents. So if I'm in town and I'm wanting to treat myself, then that's what I'll get. But the shorts are quite small though, so it's up. It would be up to you whether you. I love it. It's my favourite thing.
are
So I
you
don't mind that being my treat. But
are you saying sins?
yeah, so
That's
me and Simon both follow the Slimming World plan. It's a kind of weight loss plan over here. Or no, it's not weight loss. That's the wrong thing to say. It's a healthy eating plan over here. So in the you know how in Weight Watchers you get points.
points, yeah.
Yeah. So Simon's just commented it. It's Sins SYNS.
Oh, I was gonna say, is it religiously affiliated or something that you have
No,
sins?
no,
So,
no.
it seems weird.
Hi, John T. Good evening.
Eating fat and sugar is now a sin.
Yeah,
So
I think
wait,
that's where it comes from, but it's not religiously affiliated.
what's the SYN stand for? You know?
It doesn't stand for anything. So that's the idea. As it's kind of, I think it comes from the word sins, but it's like I don't know.
Hello, John and Opal Owl.
Hey, Opal.
Oh,
Oh,
Simon.
well done, Simon. That's an
Yeah,
amazing weight loss.
yeah.
£9 off.
Synergy. Okay.
See, I started back maybe about a month or so ago. I started doing the virtual classes, but the scales that I've got are analog scales and they're absolute rubbish. So they are. I think my other half had ordered them off Amazon and they're really not very good at all. So I'm just weighing the same all the time. So I'm not sure if I trust it, but our groups I think are opening back up for like an open weigh next week. Sorry, I'm just turning this into a pure Slimming World chat.
No, it's fine. I actually went to my doctor for my checkup a couple weeks ago and she weighed me, and I knew I'd been losing weight because my belt was getting tighter. And I went down from 257 to 234. So I was
Oh,
really pleased with that. And
that's
but
amazing.
I said, I don't know what I'm doing. I said, I'm calling, it must be the sleeping diet because I've been sleeping a lot lately, and I think I'm sleeping instead of eating, and the weight is dropping off. Unless I'm
Well, that's all good.
exercising in my dreams or something. I don't know. Going for long hikes in Wonderland or something.
Some serious sleepwalking going on, some sleep power walking.
Yeah. So, what's going on tarot-wise with you the last couple of weeks since I saw you last? I think you said
So
you Got some new
Yeah,
stuff.
I went a wee bit crazy to be fair since I last saw you, Robin. I've
Hey,
got
Justin.
a few new decks, so let me see. I've got a few new ones and I've done some mods. So let me just show you. So I'm not normally an Oracle person, right? But only one of the things that I got out of four are actually tarot.
Hold on.
Um,
Hold
oh,
on.
holding on.
Justin, I hope that's a typo when you're running around. I can't imagine what you mean by rubbing around. It's a bit suggestive.
I think that'll be a typo. Hi, Justin. Nice to see you. Oh dear.
Okay,
Um,
sorry, go ahead.
no, you're fine. So only one of the new things that I got was tarot. So the first thing that I got was, do you know Zane the Toke Witch?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's an
so
oracle, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah,
he's put together his own Oracle deck just from royalty-free photographs that he's got from online. It's an 80 card deck. I'm absolutely loving it. I was reading with it on my live on Wednesday with Dave when we were doing
yeah.
pre-readings. So this is it here. So these are the backs. And I mean, if I was thinking forward, I would have looked out some of my favourite cards, but of course I never even thought the Hunter.
Mm. Oh, wait, I should make you full again here. Let's see. Oh,
Hunter. We've got Truth.
do you find these as easy to read with as regular tarot?
They are, for me, they speak so loud and so clear to me.
Hmm.
It's unreal. Like I've been able to pick it up instantly. There's no guidebook or anything. It's just your intuitive hits, and obviously you've got the keywords on them. But I'm able to read with them so well. I'm loving them so much. I did the full live on Wednesday, just reading with these. And like I say, I'm really not an Oracle person. I've always just kind of stuck to tarot because it's what I know. But
When you read with them, do you pull 3 cards or just one?
three, three.
Oh,
So I still do my kind of well, on Wednesday I was kind of switching between doing that situation, advice, and outcome, or situation, do this, don't do this.
hmm.
Depending on what the question was. The cave.
What's the
I know you
name of
like a
this
bit of
oracle?
rain.
Does it have a name?
Yeah, it's called the Toke Witch Oracle.
Oh,
I call it the Zoracle, as in the Zane Oracle.
uh-huh.
So that's kind of what I'll be calling it. Do you know what I mean? So if I say Zoracle, you know what I'm talking about. It's the Toke Witch
Mm-hmm.
Oracle. Um, but yeah, I'm just really, really enjoying it.
Hey,
So yeah,
Jilly.
that's that one. Are you wanting to show one that you've got, Robin, or do you just want me to go through everything that
You
I've got?
you can go ahead. I mean, I got
Just
so
fire away.
many since last time. Too many. Too many.
I keep getting these
Hey,
notification
Al.
pop-ups and they're covering up the chat.
Hey, Shane.
Oh, everyone's popping in. It's
Yeah.
Jelly, it's lovely Jelly. And Elle's here. Did you say Shane as well? I can't see Shane.
We're not seeing him, but L says he's listening in. So,
Oh, hi Shane. The other one I got was the Raven's Prophecy.
oh, I
Um,
don't know if I know that one.
it's by Maggie Stiefvater.
No,
Um,
is that also an oracle?
no, this is
Oh,
Tarot, Raven's Prophecy Tarot.
hmm.
So it's quite it's simplistic, right? Well, no, it's not. It's not simplistic. The meanings are the Rider-Waite meanings. It's mostly a Rider-Waite deck, but the images that you see aren't your typical images. So there's your Six of Swords, for example. All
Hmm.
right. So you've still got this idea of protection. You've still got this idea of moving something from one place to another. But you can see, it's someone's got water in their cupped hands and they're trying to kind of move it from one place to another. Um, yeah, there's a Knight of Swords, your Hermit. It's the kind of lantern within the tree. You might think of that as a hermit's cave, actually, Simon? And I've also I edged this in orange, so I did, because, and I've had my eye on this deck for a long time, but the borders really irritated me for the longest time. Like, I just don't get why there's this garish orange border on it, but I've kind of like come to terms with it, and by edging it in orange to make the kind of edges go with the border, I've kind of made my peace with the borders, and it's a nice deck to work with. It really is. And then the last.
So does that doesn't actually correspond or relate to that Crow tarot that's so popular, right?
No, that's this is a different deck altogether.
But it's got a lot. I couldn't quite make out the images. It has a lot of ravens in it, or no?
Yeah. It does. Yeah. There's quite a lot. So I think the cup suit in particular is like, it's got. I'm sure it's got ravens instead of cups. So there's, like, for example, your 2 of cups.
Oh, nice. Oh, can you bring that closer?
Sure.
I want to see the colors. It looks like some orange and white and blue on the feathers. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not doing it any justice. Neither me nor my camera or the way that I'm holding this is doing it justice, but it is a really nice card.
Beautiful.
It's one to look up a couple of YouTube videos on it. It's a nice one. The swords are hands. And it's this tattooed hand makes it keeps cropping up throughout the deck. It's really, really nice.
Yeah, I think the orange works really well.
Yeah. So that's the Raven's Prophecy. And then the last 2 decks that I got were Soul Cards 1 and 2.
Oh, nice.
So I've kind of combined them into one Mahusive deck. So this is them combined. I've been kind of using them for daily pulls.
And you use them all, or do you feel like any of them you want to pull out of the deck, or?
No, I've been using. I've only actually been reading with them for a few days. I've been using them all. I've got quite big hands, so I can still kind of shuffle these okay. But if you've got small hands, then you would probably struggle with this because it is an absolute handful. Really good for daily pulls, just pulling one card and just kind of sitting with it and having a think about what it means and that kind of thing, because it is purely intuitive. There's just no meanings assigned to the cards at all. There's no guidebook or anything. You've just got to look at it and see what the cards mean to you, type thing.
Can you pull a card for tonight, just for the evening ahead, and see what it says? I'm curious.
Of course. Okay.
Jilly, I don't use the magnifier. I don't know what it is, or if I could, I'm looking at a little 4-inch inset screen of Chris's face because I'm on the StreamYard app. So I'm not seeing it my full 13-inch laptop screen. I'm seeing a much smaller version. So
this is the card that I've pulled. So to me, it looks like there's someone who's in a darkened corner. Looks like they're sculpting something. It looks like a rose to me. So roses are, for me, they speak of both love and pain. Okay, so to me, this is someone who has maybe lost someone, or they've gone through some ordeal, and they're learning to use that pain, because every experience we have is a tool. It's something that we can use. Oh, stupid cow, she keeps doing this. This is my phone. She keeps talking to me. She keeps going up and saying, I need your consent on something. What do you need my consent on? Oh, driving me around the twists, what it is. Anyway, sorry. Right in the middle of my reading there. So, yeah, it looks as though she's sculpting this. So that's what I was saying. So every experience we go through, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the pretty, everything it's a tool that we can use. We learn from it. It makes us the person that we are today. she's still sitting in this darkened corner. She's not quite ready to come into the kind of light of day. She's still quite happy to be sitting on her own, but she is. You can see that she's learning from her pain. You know, she's almost not putting it to good use. That sounds like not a very nice way of putting it, but you know, she's putting it to use. She's kind of developing herself, and she's learning. Right, okay, I've gone through this. I've maybe loved and I've lost, or I've gone through this painful experience, but I can, I can create something out of that. That doesn't have to be a total loss. I don't need to bury it deep down within and never speak of it again. You know, I can almost be proud of it, and it's part of what makes me who I am today, and it's it's going to stay with me and empower me for the rest of my life, type thing. So that's the hit that I'm getting off of this, and that's the kind of thing I mean. I mean, you could sit with it. Depend. I mean, you could ask me a question, and I could pull something, Robin, and I might get different meanings depending on what your question is. You know, I might look at this tomorrow and see something completely different. You know.
Well, I'm not sure I'm seeing it right, but it looks to me like a figure investigating or looking inside a multi-layered shell or a flower or something. So that to me is like investigating, opening up, looking inside, you know. So all of those aspects come to mind to me, which, you know, could be very much in line with readings that we're going to do a little bit later.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I said sculpting, but you're right. Like, you know, the more you look at it, is she sculpting? Is she creating? Or is she looking down inside it? You know, so it's that kind of thing. You can sit with these for, you know, however long you want, and you can just, they just kind of make you think. But I'm loving them. They're brilliant to work with. Great for daily pulls, like I say.
Did you say you had another deck, or was that the last
So
one?
that's the four. So the Soul Cards 1,
yeah.
Soul Cards 2, Raven's Prophecy, and the Zoracle. But I've also done some more modding, so I'll quickly show you the modding that I've done. So I've got my Everyday Enchantment here. Now, I had already trimmed this, but I've now edged it. I'm just going to grab some of the deck because I've still got it in the box where it's split in two. I've edged it in this kind of deep red. So I have. So I was going to go for green, but then I thought, like, I don't know. I thought red would be a nice colour for it, so I decided to go with red. So this is it, trimmed, and the nice red edges. And then last but by no means least, my good old favourite light seers I have edged in green. So it's turned out okay.
Yeah.
And that's me. So, Robin, you tell us what you've got whilst I tidy away this sea of tarot cards that I've now got in front of me.
All right. I'm trying to remember. I think I already had these last time we met. This is the Gassman Tarot. I've been on this Marseille kick lately. I don't know what that's all about. So anyway, that one I got. I also got the Tarot de Marseille Joe 99 that I saw on Mendy's channel, and I did a review of that recently. And I really liked it on her channel, and now that I got it, I'm not so sure about it. The cards are a little bit smaller than I'm used to, and I like small cards, but the card stock is kind of weird. It's like, I mean, it's not real thick, but it's not a really nice feeling cardstock. It's more like, I want to say like cereal box cardboard. It's really bad description. This is one of the majors, and I like the majors. They're trimmed in black. For some reason, the minors are bordered in white, and it's hard because there's not good light here. There's so much detail in the backgrounds of these cards that, you know, the fact that they're smaller and bordered makes them that much harder to take in all the details. But they're really bright and colorful. They tend to be a little bit on the dark side, even though they're bright. And I like the kind of cartoony quality. Actually, this is one of the better cards in the deck. I love the Hermit. I love his expression. So anyway, that's the Joe 90. Oh wait, maybe I can pop out a minor here so you can see. There's the difference. There's a minor. I don't really like the white borders. And you can see they're really busy. I mean, that's the Ace of Wands, but look at all that stuff going on around it. I don't know. I think they'd be better if they were borderless and full cards, maybe, and tweak the brightness up a hair, but up a notch. But so I don't know. I have mixed feelings about this deck. Then I got, well, I'm not really going in order. I got, I think I've reviewed this already, the Tarot de Jacques Viville. And this is a majors only 22 card deck. I think it's actually a Swiss deck. And it's two versions of 22. There's 44 cards in here, so you have two options on this deck. It was originally designed and had a different orientation on some of the cards, like maybe the plates were reversed or something. I don't quite know what the history was, but some of the images are reversed from what we're used to seeing, and they also changed the sequence, the number sequence. So what they did was they released it the way it was originally presented, and then they also redid it in a second version of the deck that's more traditional to Marseille, with the proper numbering sequence and the proper direction sequence. But I really love these cards. Oh, wrong bag. When I got stuff in bags, I can't find it. Okay. These have really nice backs and really beautiful card stock. And I really love the look of them. They're just really, they don't look as crude as some of the Marseille decks that I've seen. And we've got a couple different sort of cards. This is the Moon card, which is a little different than we're used to on a Moon card. And I love this. She's sort of like winding or spinning wool, you know, by the moonlight, moon spinning. And then instead of the tower, we have this tree, which I wasn't sure about at first, because I think Patrick Valenza has a tree in his Triumphi deck. It's struck by lightning. There's no lightning here, but you've got all these little balls falling out of the sky. And so I don't know if they're orbs. I don't know if it's hailstones. I don't quite know how to read that card, but it's kind of interesting. Oh, and this is an interesting devil too. It's pretty wild colors and depiction. So yeah, I really like this deck. So that's the, oh, and I kind of went a la carte. I didn't go all one version or the other. I pulled my favorites from both and made it a whole new deck just to suit me. So why not, you know? Then I just got this the other day. This I got at Printer's Studio. From time to time, I go through all the pages that make playing cards, and I run out there. So I tried Printer's Studio and I saw a new one. And this is pretty much that same kind of S30 cardstock I like, that's so silky. And these are linoleum cuts by this guy. It's a majors only Marseille deck that's like linoleum cut images. And I kind of like the crudeness of it. There's a lot of the early Tarot de Marseille were woodcut anyway, so that handcrafted linoleum cut thing really is in keeping, I think, with the tradition of Marseille printed early printing style. So anyway, I have a walkthrough of this that is going up tomorrow morning early, so you'll see that. Then I also got Julianne Victoria that Simon interviewed on Saturday. She has this medieval Sigils tarot that I got. And now this is quite a challenge because these cards she made up these sigils, and they're beautiful. It's like these sort of antique rust kind of colored paper, and these sort of hand painted or hand drawn sigils that are abstract. And she wants you to just kind of intuit meanings from these abstract images. But she does have like little labelings at the bottom, and they are potentially divided into majors and 4 minor suits. So, I mean, you can read the label on the bottom and translate it into your head. For instance,
That looks
this
like the
one's,
14 of air.
huh?
The 14 of air. What the hell is that?
Yeah, it is. Did you
Is that like the king of?
you can see that? Yeah, is
Yeah, I
that
can
what?
see it. So is that
So
like the
for
king of swords essentially? Is that what that's meant to mean?
exactly, you're quicker at translating than I am. But I'm sort of like gotten now to where I read images too quickly in decks, and these really makes me sit with them for a while and think about them while I'm translating into my head what the RWS version would be, and do I see it anywhere in this image or not. But
Yeah.
it's sort of, I don't know. I spend more time with this deck than an average deck just because the images are, you know, harder to read intuitively. But I like the idea behind it, and it's a very different sort of a deck. But all kinds of crazy images. So this is really unique. Actually, and it comes with a little book, but there's no info in there about the label translation. I actually had to make myself a little cheat note. I never do this, but in my books, because I couldn't remember which of the symbols was earth, air, fire, and water. So I wrote them down and which ones they correspond to, which suits.
Yeah.
So just in case I forget, I can flip to it real quick.
The way I think about the signs with the triangles is the fire.
Mm-hmm.
The fire and the air triangles both point upwards. They're like arrows pointing upwards because the sun is upwards and the air is upwards.
Yeah.
Whereas the water and the earth both point downwards. They're the arrows pointing downwards. So because water is generally comes from the earth and so's the earth.
Yeah.
So that kind of helps me.
That's easy to remember. It's just when it comes to the line going through it, I kind of forget.
Yeah. So to me, water and fire are the two main elements. They're the two that I think of first, and they're the two that you would most associate with being opposites. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's to me it's wrong to say they're the main ones because they're not really, but that just in my head, that's like how I associate it. They're the kind of primary ones in my head. So they're the ones that don't have the wee bar through them. And then the kind of other two, your air and your earth, are the two that have got the bars through them. That's kind of how I started to think about it, and I think now I looked at them and used those symbols for long enough that I know them. But that's generally how I tend to think about it.
I got another deck. This one is, these backs are kind of weird, these colorful backs. This one's called the Fool's Gambit, and they're very cartoony images, just like line drawings,
Oh yeah.
and very kind of comical in a strange way. But and this was weird. The High Priestess, it looks like a nun having a fit. I don't know what's going on with
Oh
that
my
card.
goodness! It looks like she's making a rude sign with one of her hands.
Yeah. And oh, the Empress is a little bit sexy. Looks like she's kind of tied up, But I tell you, one of the cards that kind of won me over in the deck was the this is the Hermit. It's kind of like this Hermit all hunched over.
Oh, his eyes are all blacked out. He doesn't look
And
like a very happy hermit.
the Wheel of Fortune looks like an S&M figure on a torture rack or something.
Oh no, that's like Da Vinci. That's like Da Vinci's picture of the perfect man.
Oh yeah. And this is the hangman kind of hanging by one foot, sort of dangling on on the ground. I kind of like that one.
His six pack just happens to be out, you know.
And this deck has an art card instead of the is it Justice or Temperance?
14, yeah.
14. Yeah, right, 14. Which I never quite get that. Why? I think that's with the Thoth Tarot too, but
Yeah.
I don't quite equate art with temperance, but I have to think about that.
Because it's bringing your so it's the marrying up of your imagination, your creative process in your head, and it's bringing that into tangible life. Do you know what I mean? So temperance is all about combining two kind of opposite things. You know, it's about tempering them. It's about bringing them together and creating something new. So you've got the kind of creative imagination process that's going on in your head. You've got this putting pen to paper, and then the product of that is you know, it's this beautiful art piece that another person will look at, and they'll get, you know, you know, they'll be able to look at it and see, you know, they'll be able to see from the mind of the person who made it. The thing that I always think of is, you know, there's that really famous painting. It's about I think it's about a parent who lost their child or something. It's the one with the it's kind of dark blue. It's got a kind of blue. I can't remember what it's called. Guys, help me out. But it's a full it's very swirly. There's lots of swirls in it. But I'm pretty sure it's quite a well-known painting, and it's a really, really beautiful painting. But you can kind of almost look at it and see the sadness in this woman's, you know, in this woman's face, and or you can see it in her posture, I think. But you know, so that for me is why temperance and art almost can associate with each other. That might not be what Aleister Crowley's intention was, by the way, but that's just how I understand it in my head.
Well, this is the card that won me over, this devil. He's pretty silly. Stubbly hair on his legs. But get a load of that expression, though. I mean, have you ever seen a devil quite like that one? Very mischievous. So I don't know. I'm not sure. But the minors are really kind of confusing, and it's like it's pip oriented. But like, okay, like this is the Four of Wands, which is usually, you know, that kind of wedding celebration kind of grouping of four wands, and here like it's wands kind of marching up a hill or something, which I don't quite know how to read that.
That almost looks like it should be the Three of Wands, doesn't it?
Yeah. And trying to say, oh, here's an eight of wands, which is what we usually might think of as the 10 of wands.
Yeah.
Like a heavy bundle. But then here's a 9 of wands that's even more like carrying that weight. And then here's the 10, which looks kind of like opposing factions. So it's like, I don't quite know how to read these pip cards, but, you know, I have to give it a little more time, I guess. But that's called the Fool's Gambit. I recorded a walkthrough, but it won't post until Friday. I'm not holding these back now. I'm like, as I get them, I record one and then I just like date it to post so that they're spaced out over the weeks. And it's not because what I tended to do before is I would record and post it as soon as I got a new deck. And that just compelled me when I ran out of decks to like race to buy more, which is not a good way to do this. So now I'm trying to space them out where I have like 2 a week, one like Tuesday and the other Friday.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else. Oh, well, and a friend of mine sent me a couple of decks. He sent me this Mother Piece round tarot deck. I think this is an earlier version of the Mother Piece. And it's really not my cup of tea, but, you know, I'm not into round cards or the imagery in this deck, but, you know, I'll do a walkthrough and review it. And then he also sent me this weird one called the Kauai Tarot, which I guess, is that Hawaii? Kauai? I don't know. which came in two little boxes. One says Kawaii and the other says a 78 card deck of Magic and Cute. It's like two little pink boxes. I don't know why they did it that way. And it's very, very childlike and simple and colorful. And I mean, I'll do a walkthrough of that at some point. But
Oh yeah, I've seen that before.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure I've seen it somewhere.
yeah, I never heard of it before. But so anyway, that's coming. And I think that is, oh, and the other one was the Conrad Stain.
This is like an episode of Columbo, Robin.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the last one. I got the Conrad Stain Crackleback, white Crackleback, Tarot de Marseille Arnaud. And then he had this other one at the same time, but there were some issues. He had to like pull it out of the store for a while and make some changes, and now it's back. So I got the go ahead to review it. I just did a side by side of the two. He's just calling this the burnt tarot now, and it's got a more kind of acidic coloring to it than the Arnaud. But I love them both. You know. But I said on my review, this one's kind of like a glass of orange juice, and the other one's like a glass of warm milk. Like the coloring in the other one is more subdued and softer and creamier or something, and chalkier, milkier. And this one has a citrusy, acidic kind of quality to it. So anyway, sorry about all that, but yeah, I've been a little bit, a lot of decks lately.
Now, Robin, throughout all of that, and you have not mentioned your new deck that you have created.
Oh, yeah. Well, I
Why
don't
don't
have
you tell us
anything
a bit
to.
about that?
We can talk about it. I don't have anything to show, unfortunately, because it's. I actually yesterday and today I've been going through postpartum depression because I was up the better part of days and nights since last Monday working on this deck. And the first deck I did, was a 22 card deck that I did in like 4 hours. It was like one day basically. But this last one is a full 78 cards, and it's taken me a whole week. And I've had a lot of technical issues, and I still don't know if it's going to come out right. It looks fantastic on the screen, but I'm getting warnings that the resolution's inadequate or not recommended. And I've done this before with other printing companies that they put that warning on there, and I've gotten great results. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I ordered a proof copy, and it seems to me like it ought to look just as good printed out as what I'm seeing on the screen. And if that's the case, it'll be fine. And if it's a little bit blurry, I don't mind. If it's a little soft focus, I'm just hoping that the lines don't come out pixelated. That will ruin it for me. So I'll know in about 10 days probably, and then I can share more. But at this point, I don't have anything to show you or share with you. It's bright colored pop images. They're using the simplest program online. There's a page layout program just called Pages on Mac computers, and you can draw little charts and graphs and things just using geometric presets that they have there. So
do you have it on your computer, Robin? Do you have some of the images on your computer?
I do, but I don't think there's any way. Oh, I can share a screen.
Yeah.
Oh, let me see if I can figure out how to do this. I have to minimize this first so I can pop open a screen. Bear with me a second.
This is exciting, guys. We're getting an exclusive here.
Am I going to be able to scroll through them on the share screen, do you think?
Yeah, I would imagine so. So basically, when you share a screen, we will just see what you're seeing on your PC.
Oh, okay. Well, let's
So make sure you
try this.
close down anything dodgy that you were looking at before this live.
Okay. Uh-oh, it's a screen sharing to discuss. Well, we'll try this, see what happens. Hope. What is this doing? Select window or screen.
So you can select the particular window that you want to share with us.
Entire screen. Oh, it's not doing it. Only share screens with sites you trust. Wait a minute. How do I find the... Oh, there it is. Okay. Is that working? I mean, I don't know if you're seeing anything or not.
Let me see. I'm on StreamYard, so I'm only seeing. No, I think.
Is anybody seeing anything? On mine, it's a really teeny tiny window, so I don't know. No, I don't think this is working right.
No, we're not seeing anything. Just us.
Firefox cannot allow permanent access to your screen. Oh. Wonder why. Oh, wait.
Sorry, Jelly.
Wait. Oh,
Oh,
now I
there we
got it.
go. Sorted.
Okay. Well, you got a lot of data over here, but here's the images. Now, can I... Huh. Here we go. Now, is this going to... Did that change? Or are you still looking at the full?
It changed. No, it's changing. We can see what you're seeing.
Okay, so these are the majors. And you can see they're bright pop colors and they're googly eyed. And they're all just made out of like simple geometric shapes, collaged and layered one on top of another. Now, these are not showing the labels that I have on the cards because they do have titles on them, because those I had to apply actually at Make Playing Cards. But so here you can see the majors. I think they're all fairly self-explanatory. It's gone awful quiet.
Sorry, I'm just
Are
looking.
you still there?
I'm just watching.
Okay, so that's the majors. Then we have, these are the cups.
Okay.
And you can see it's sort of, it's kind of Marseille, it's kind of Pips. But what I did was I sort of laid them out in some ways like Marseille, and some of them are kind of like Rider Waite. Like this one's sort of like the Two of Cups from the Rider Waite, you know?
I see. Right, I'm with you.
And then this is kind of like the Three of Cups. So, I mean, I tried to make it so that you, and this one, you know, in the Rider Waite with the Five of Cups, you have three spilled over and two upright. So I tried to make it so that you could read these pips as if it was, you know, you were seeing a full scene, even though you're not, you know, that you have a little bit of a hint of something to relate to from the other deck, you know.
I can't speak for everyone here. Other people might disagree with me, but I think I would quite like it would be quite good to have a deck like this, like with no labels, because I almost
No,
think you don't need them.
okay.
Like I don't just take my word for that. By the way, like
All right.
obviously,
So which one is this? Which one do you read this as?
well, I can see that it's the page because I can see what you're highlighted over.
Oh,
But
oh, right. Okay.
do you know
And
what I
that's
mean?
the knight.
Yeah,
The knights are obvious because they're on
on the horse. Yeah,
horses, you know. And there's the kings and queens are a little bit harder to tell apart, but the king
yeah,
has a squat crown and the queen has a more like pointier crown. But they're
yeah.
both wearing robes like dresses, kind of, you know.
Uh-huh.
So, and then we have, oh, and this is the back for now, which is, I don't know how I feel about it, but it was kind of a last minute thing. And then here's the pentacles. This is sort of less exciting, but you
No, I
know,
like it though. Oh, and you've
and
got the tree of life being the 10. I like it.
Yeah, you got my thing. I kept that in there from the rider weight deck. I thought,
Yeah.
what am I going to do with the 10 coins? Oh, well, they already have that pattern of the Tree of Life in RWS, so let's just use it. And I was trying to think if there were any other ones I had there. Well, some of the others aren't so obvious, I guess. Well, this three is like the way that the three coins are stacked up in the arch when the collaboration card and the rider weight.
Yep.
And so there so we got the king, the knight, the page, and the queen. And then for swords, so here we have so you have the two swords. Instead of swords facing out, they're crossed here. And then instead of stabbing in a heart, you still have the same kind of direction, but no heart.
Yep.
And there you have that's the sleeping sword thing. There's a sword at rest. So, I mean, I did try to kind of like pull, and this is the 6 going across the river in a boat. As you can see, a little bit of movement rising there across the card.
Yeah.
But it's a little abstract, but I mean, I tried to make it, and this is the nightmare card, the way the swords are on the wall, all facing one direction. I tried to make it like sort of hinting at the rider weight, but also a kind of Marseille or Pip thing too.
Yep.
And then here are the wands. So, I don't know. A lot of people aren't really big on Pip decks. I'm not sure how they're going to feel about this, but it's a step. I mean, maybe the next deck will be. I think the next one's either going to be an Oracle deck or Lenormand, or else it's going to be a full 78 RWS. Now the problem is, how do I get out of my screen share? Stop screen.
Stop share. There you go.
Thanks for suggesting that. I think it sort of worked. I don't know.
Yeah. No, we were able to see.
I couldn't see the chat, so I don't know if I missed anything. So people at least got an idea, kind of. Nope, just your faces. What does that mean?
Because at the start we couldn't see the screen when we were having trouble sharing it.
Okay.
So in response to me saying about the idea of maybe not having no labels, Jilly said, yeah, but someone beginning might appreciate the labels, which is a really good point.
Yeah. So, we'll see, I might do, but I thought about not doing the labels. Originally I was not going to do it. And then I thought, well, are there any cards in the deck that might be problematic? And actually the Empress and the Emperor look a lot like the King and Queen of Swords. So I thought, there might be some confusion there, but I don't know. We'll work it out. But anyway, you guys all got a little preview that nobody else got. So
that was exciting.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Robin.
Thank you. I never thought of doing that. So I'm still learning stuff from this StreamYard business. So thanks, Jilly.
Neem has popped in. Hi, Neem.
It was a crazy, wacky work week, and I was up, spending hours in the day and almost all night. I mean, I was eating my dinner at like 4 or 5 in the morning because I was so engrossed in the project. I hadn't eaten all evening and all night. It's like I was having Indian food at 5 in the morning. And then going to bed, it's like, not a good idea.
No. I see, I'm an early bird. I'm one of these people that kind of tries to get to bed maybe by 11 at the latest. And then if I'm working, I'm usually up around 6. So like, I know we're not in the same time zone, but it's almost like I'm getting up just as you're going to bed.
Well, the thing is, I'm not working anymore except on this. So, I mean, it's like I sleep crazy hours since I retired. It's like I'll have a 3-hour nap and then I'll be up for 3 hours and then I'll take another 3-hour nap. So it's like off and on around the clock. I think as people get older, that's kind of more common to just kind of like, you get tired, you go to sleep. You're not tired, you get up, Whereas in the old days, I knew I had to work a full day. So it's like, even if I was tossing and turning, I'd force myself to try and sleep, but I don't do that anymore.
Yeah. Jackie's asked you a question. She's asking, what are you calling the deck, Robin?
Oh, I'm still up in the air about it. If you've got any ideas, and I didn't have to label it yet. So, although I did make a tin box for it, so with the card back on it. And for now, I'm just calling it the Googly Tarot. But I don't know if that's too silly or what. It's funny. I don't know. Both my decks feature these faces with big googly eyes, and I don't know what that's all about, where that's coming from, what my obsession is with these big, wide-eyed figures. It's not really typical of the kind of artwork that I do generally.
Yeah.
But
no, it's quite good. I think I mean, you've got all sorts of tarot decks these days, You've got the oh gosh, like,
well, I was
you know,
going to originally call it like the pop tarot or the pop colors or something, but I think somebody else already used that.
mm,
And I thought, well, I need something catchy that people will be able to remember or refer to. And googly, the only thing I'm worried now, if I call it googly, am I going to get, trademark infringement from Google? But I don't know if that's close enough or not.
What about the toadstool tarot? Is there a toadstool tarot?
No, but there's no toads or toadstools in the deck, so I don't
Yeah, but
know.
it is the mind child of Toadstool Tarot, who is you. So the Toadstool Tarot, no?
Well, it could just be my name too. Yeah, I don't know. I'll think about it, and if anybody wants to send me ideas, I'm open. I haven't. Luckily, I didn't. Yeah, see, Jilly just says Robin's Tarot question
Hmm.
mark. Yeah, I luckily I didn't have to like label the box or anything yet, and I just sent for a proof copy. I'm debating whether, as long as I'm going this far, whether I should add a couple more cards in the deck with like instructions or descriptions on them, or there's a couple of decks out there I actually like. I think Vincent Petici has a deck where it's got a card in there that lists keywords for each of the majors on one side of the card, and then the numbers and suits for minors on the opposite side of the card,
Hmm.
which is the most simplistic alternative for a little white book, but I kind of like that. And then I have another deck like that. I think it's the Influence of the Angels Tarot also has a little cheat card like that, or a
Yeah.
couple of cheat cards. So I
See, to
like
be
that.
honest, I'll give you my opinion on this, and you can you can tell me to keep it to myself if you want. But my opinion on that idea, so like in regards to having a card where it's got like keywords and then the kind of numerology and the elements, like, so who is that actually going to benefit? Because if you are brand new to tarot and you don't, this is your first tarot deck, that's not really going to do you much good. Just keyword associations,
Hmm.
numerological associations, and elements. It's not going to give you enough to be able to read with the deck. And if you're not new to tarot, if you know tarot, it's not going to do you any good either, because
Yeah,
chances are you already know those keywords and stuff.
yeah.
So I don't know. If it's something that you want to have in there, just like, you know, maybe you've got your own kind of idea of the card, what the card meanings are, what you intended those card meanings to be, that you want
Hmm.
to make sure you put across, then yeah, by all means put it in there. But don't feel like you have to put something like that in there,
Yeah.
because I'm a wee bit shaky on whether it really serves a purpose. Do you know what I
I
mean?
know. I noticed that Sarah says that googly, there's a similar term to googly that refers to racist caricatures, which
I saw that.
I don't want to go towards if that's the case. But that gives me pause to reconsider the name. I don't know what I'm going to name it though. Popeye, but then there's Popeye at that's the cartoon, and it's not really related to Popeye the Sailor Man. I don't know. I have to think about it. So
Jackie's put a comment after that where she said the eyes actually suit the deck and they don't particularly stand out as like you don't look at it right away and think, oh, those that deck's got all googly eyes. Like they do suit the wee characters in your deck, so you wouldn't necessarily need to hone in on the eyes to name the deck, if that makes sense.
yeah.
So
well, everybody in the chat, if you wouldn't mind sending me a little message in Facebook or even post on my Facebook page what you think the deck should be called would be helpful. I don't know what to call it. So, yeah.
We've got a few people coming in. So lovely Jen's Balanced Tarot.
Yeah, hi Jen. And
lovely
Science the Soul Jen. Yeah.
Yeah. So the two Jens have come in at once. I wonder if they timed that, if they did that on purpose.
Oh, we've been going an hour and a half already. Or no?
No, just an hour. An hour and 5 minutes.
That's right.
Yep.
So do we want to do some? I guess we're talked out about my my tarot project. One of the things I'm trying to do though is I'm trying to make tarot deck design more accessible to people out there. The way that a lot of people are trying to make tarot appreciation and tarot reading more accessible to more people, a wider audience. I want people out there to know they don't have to be particularly talented to create a tarot deck. You saw how crude my other deck was, and this one is basically stick figures. And, I used circles, triangles, pentagons and star shapes and rectangles and sticks, and just piled them up in order and assigned colors to them and created a deck out of it, So anybody could do that, and it's not a fancy program or anything. I don't even have Illustrator or Photoshop, which would have been a great help. But yeah, Jackie says Shapes Tarot. All right, I'll review the chat, after we're off the air. But I still, if send me a message or something. It's helpful. Bye, Sarah. So, yeah, I don't know. Did anything come to mind for you, Chris, name-wise, when you looked at the colors of the pictures?
Nothing that I can think of right now, but if anything pops into mind, then I'll send you a message.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would consider going for Toadstool Tarot simply because, I don't know whether you would rather keep that for further down the line,
Yeah.
But the thing is, you might be saving that for when you create another deck or whatever, one that it would feel more appropriate for, but by that time someone else might have stolen the name. So I don't know, maybe that doesn't matter to you, but if you do particularly want to, have that name for you, if indeed it isn't already being used by someone.
I like the title. I'm just not sure about this deck because I think I kind of feel like it needs to have a toadstool somewhere in it it's not going to make sense to people otherwise that don't know the channel or me. It's like, why is it called that? There's no definer, no explanation in the deck or anything. So, but I don't, it's just going to be on make playing cards. And so all they need is some kind of identifier to find it. So it doesn't really matter too much what the name is. It could change down the line because it's, you only needed enough to be able to order it. But, I'll be thinking about that more. I did, the fronts are as bright a color palette as I could possibly come up with. And the backs I decided should be the opposite of that. So I made black backs, but I had, I wanted some little pattern on the back. So I just put one of the faces of the eyes on the back.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough jabber about that. Shall we do some readings, or do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No, I'm happy to press on with some readings. If anyone in the chat would particularly like a reading, then let us know. Pop a wee question in there in capitals, and we'll pull some cards for you. Robin, would you prefer to use tarot, or can I use an oracle deck?
You can use whatever you want. I'm trying to decide what I'm going to use, and I'm not going to use the medieval Sigils tarot because it would take me forever to translate in my head what the cards are. So I think I'm going to start with either the Jacques Vivelle or the linoleum cut one, just because they're kind of fresh to me. But that means I'm sticking to majors only. So be interesting to see. We'll have a majors only or oracle reading.
I'm going to go for an oracle. I'm going to use my Zoracle, the Tokwatch Oracle. So we'll see how we go on with that. Well, actually, could I do a wee channel shout out for someone, by the way?
Sure.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
So, does everyone know James Feeney from Lemniscate Logic? Mm-hmm. So he's got a YouTube channel, and he's planning on doing. He told me that he's going to do a live when he gets to 1,000. So I said I would mention him. So if anyone, he's very, very knowledgeable. Very intelligent person, so he is, and he looks quite young. I'm not sure what age he is, but he looks quite young, but he looks very wise beyond his years. And he uses primarily, I think, the Thoth Tarot, and he also kind of he uses a lot. I don't want to say which or any of those kind of words, because I don't want to label him when I don't really know what he considers himself to be. But he has a very kind of magical based practice. So it's quite an interesting channel. So it's definitely one to check out.
What did you say the name is? Because I thought I saw it under just James Feeney.
It might be under just James Feeney. That might be what his channel name is.
But you said there's some other thing with Lemniscate, something or other?
I think it might be his website or something. Yeah, his channel's just called James Feeney.
Oh, okay. Yes. I'm looking in my YouTube history. It says James Feeney. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I say, his content is quite good.
Yeah.
Oh, so Jilly said again and slowly. Sorry, Jilly, I don't know what it is that I've said too quickly. But yeah, I was just saying James Feeney. That's his channel name is James Feeney. Check him out. He uses a lot of the Thoth Tarot. He has a lot of other tarot decks as well. He does walkthroughs and things like that. But he has a very kind of magical based practice as well. So definitely one to check out. So I think maybe Simon has said that he's heading off to bed because he's up early. So have a good sleep, Simon, and I hope you have a good second day back at work. Hope it goes in quickly for you.
He's probably gone already.
Oh, that's fine. Well, I'm sending my intentions from here, my good intentions.
Yeah. Any questions in the chat? Either just general questions to chat about or questions for a reading, one way or the other. We're open. We're workable. We could be accommodating. We can also be quiet if no questions come in.
We could just sit and stare at you awkwardly until a question comes in. If you've got a question, Robin, I could pull some of these cards for you, and you can see it in action if you would like.
You read my mind. You read my mind, because I was just thinking, what could I ask about? And so Maybe I could just do a general question about my new deck, because I'm a little bit I'm excited, but I'm apprehensive. I don't know what's going to happen, if it's going to be a disaster. If these don't come out up to quality, I may pull the whole deck. It might not come out.
Oh, don't put that kind of pressure on me, Robin.
Because no, because like I said, if they're slightly blurry, like soft focus, I don't mind. But if they're pixelated,
yeah, if the
then
cards
I don't want them to be released, and I don't see a
Right, I'm
way.
with you.
I went online to ask people to help me out with tech questions, like how could I get a better resolution image from a
Yeah.
screen grab, and nobody could solve it for me. So if that doesn't work out and they look bad, then this deck will be put on the back burner indefinitely.
Right. I thought
So,
what you were saying there was when you said if these cards don't come out, as in the cards that I'm about to pull for you, I thought you were saying if these don't come out all like kind of sunshine and roses, then you might just pull the whole thing. I was like, don't say that to me. There was something else I was going to say as well. Lovely Hen, Science to the Soul Tarot with Jen. She posted a video, I think it was yesterday, and it's of her doing the hashtag mother and daughter, but she's doing it with her and her daughter and her son. And I loved every minute of it, so I did. It's such a nice, endearing video. Um, Hen's got a lovely, lovely family. So I would encourage everybody to go and check that out. That was such a good video. Right, Robin. So we're looking at your deck. So I'm going to do a 3 card. I'm going to do situation, advice, and outcome, and we'll see what these cards pull for you. Okay.
thanks, Jilly. I'll contact Sarah about that.
Okay, interesting. Okay. Situation. We've got the shadow card. It's actually quite difficult to see, but I suppose that's the whole purpose behind a shadow card, isn't it? All right. Maybe what it's saying is there's some aspects to the whole process that you're not quite sure of yet. I mean, you just said, Robin, you're anticipating that there's the possibility that these images might come up blurred, and that shadow is kind of blurry. Forewarned is forearmed though, so that you might need to be prepared for that possibility. You might need to make some changes. There might need to be some changes made in order for the process to go ahead, because the advice card that we got is the death card. Okay.
Oh my God.
I know. So
I just pulled the death card too. So
oh gosh. So we're not looking at this as put the whole thing to bed, it's over, because we know that that's not what death card means. In tarot, and I don't read that as meaning that in this oracle either. I very much pull from the meaning of the death card in the tarot. So it's all about change. Sometimes it's not a nice change. It's change that's very much forced on us, rather than change that we choose. And the death card, it's normally something that's forced on us, and we really need to make the change, whether we like it or not. So just be prepared that you might need to make a big change. It might be an uncomfortable process. So you've just told us that you spent a lot of time on this. There's been sleepless nights. There's been a lot of time and energy going into this. Just be wary that it might not come back absolutely 100% perfect the first time. There may well be some changes that you're going to have to make. Okay?
Yeah.
The outcome, though, is a bit more positive. So we'll get the water card for the outcome. Okay? So if we think of the elemental associations, water is, we tend to kind of, on the surface level, we think about it as our emotions. I like to think about it, water as an element, as being a wee bit deeper than that. So water for me is us connecting to our subconscious selves. Okay. Um, So yeah, things like emotions. Your emotions are your reactions that come from your subconscious, but also things like our intuition, our instincts, you know, talents, things that we can do without actually, you know, so like playing instruments and stuff, our artistic selves, all these things that we do that you know you don't think it's not it's not purely an intellectual process, you know. Like I know you're a musical person, Robin, so you'll know what I mean when you sit down to play whatever instrument it is that you play. You can just kind of sit and strum away at a guitar or play away at a piano, and you know you can create something really beautiful without having to go through the ins and outs of what everything means. Okay, so sorry, I'm rambling here. So to bring that back to the question and to bring that back, this deck for you at least is going to enable you to really connect to your subconscious. You're going to be able to pull those subconscious messages from it. Now that might be like, for a lot of people when you talk about connecting to your subconscious and pulling subconscious messages, a lot of people might think of really kind of complex, in-depth images. These kind of, like I was talking about with the soul cards, the types of things that you look at, and one day you see one thing, one day you see another. Your deck is maybe a bit more, not basic, but you know what I'm saying. It's not like the Warshak. It's not
Mm,
like that thing where you could look at it one day and see a spider, and you could look at
yeah.
it the next and see the sun shining. It's not that kind of idea. So you might not right away think of that really activating your intuitive processes, and you being able to kind of connect to your feelings in that way. But that card coming up is really, it's a sign like don't dismiss it in that way right away,
Wait,
because
which one
you
is
know
that?
that's the water.
Oh,
Water.
yeah. So you have death and water, and what is the
So we
third?
had shadow.
Oh,
We had
shadow.
shadow
Oh,
was the first one. We
okay.
had death was the advice. So that's
Okay.
the talking about the change coming in, and then the outcome is the water card.
Okay.
So that's all about this kind of connection to your subconscious and how
Mm.
your deck is maybe going to enable you, empower you, and other people as well if you decide to open it out to other people being able to obtain it. Um, it could really be a really kind of useful tool for that.
It's funny because I pulled three cards too, just for the hell of it.
Mm.
And two out of my three sort of match yours. I got the death card and I got a water card too because I got temperance. So here you've got water, temperance, and the chariot. And so, I mean, I always visualize myself in the middle. So the death card is like, I might have to make some changes, and I might have to temper the deck with, making those changes and trying to decide between different things. And the chariot, I might have to decide which way to go with the decisions I have to make. But yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I think I already knew this. I'm just wary because I I looked at some other images, the images from my earlier deck, and they were smaller cards and simple images, but those I scanned, and the images were I think they were like 180 kilobytes or something. Some of these are as few as like 17 to 24 kilobytes, which is like,
Mm.
oh my God, that's like nothing. On the other hand, it's just, simple lines and block color. So I don't know, maybe it doesn't take up a lot of data space, but I would think that, if they weren't going to reproduce like they show on the screen on their website, then they wouldn't appear that good on their website. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I'm a little apprehensive about it. And also, after so much concentrated effort in over the course of a week, to finally finish, it was like nonstop Saturday night through Sunday morning, and then I finally finished. So I thought, I'm glad it's done, but it's done. Now I've got nothing else left to do.
So you might still be more in the midst of that creative process than what you want to
Yeah.
be, Robin. But like your end card as well, that chariot card is a brilliant card because it's, once you've learned to balance. So temperance is about, it's maybe saying to you, just slow down a bit, don't be in such a rush to get it finished, be a bit more refined about it, be a bit slower and pay a wee bit more attention to the detail. You've obviously got your death card in the front and center there, which you spoke about, and I got as well. And then but the chariot card, it is about balancing those opposite aspects. But the chariot card is a promise of victory. Yeah, the chariot is saying, right, you've done it, you've learned to balance those opposite aspects. You've got those two horses pointing in the same direction, and they're really kind of taking you forwards. So
Yeah.
everything kind of seems to be turning out quite good. So
Jackie just suggested something in the chat, and I'm not quite sure what the reference is. She says name change because of racist connotations.
So I think someone had said earlier on in the chat, it might have been Sarah at Waterchild Tarot.
I got that, but I'm wondering if she's commenting on the changes I might have to make, might not necessarily be to the design, but might be to the name of the deck. Since we're talking about making changes and transitions and decisions that I'm not quite finished with the deck.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm all but finished with the exception of the name of it. Who knows?
Maybe it could well be. Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's what she's suggesting, but
Yeah, no, you're probably right. Actually, yeah.
That could be. It could be the images come out fine, but what I still need to change is the name of the deck.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm not sure if Jelly saying just go slowly is in reference to me speaking too quickly, or if it's talking about your creative process. I think it's probably me speaking too quickly with my awkward accent. So sorry, Jelly, if you weren't able to catch any of that.
Does anybody out there have any questions yet? Thank you, Chris. That was good.
No, not at all. What did you think of this oracle? Did you like it?
I like the results it got. I actually had a peek at it online, and I'm not keen on the images just because they seem like sort of standard images that have been pulled out of magazines or stock photo footages that I don't tend not to relate to. But if it works for you, great, And also, I'm not really so much into Oracle decks these days, which is funny because I'm actually currently collaborating with a friend on an Oracle deck. But you never know. I mean, I'm focused on Marseille and Pip at the moment, and I didn't see that one coming, so I don't know.
Yeah. So Jen's balanced tarot. Jen's running out now because she's got a meeting to go to. So bye, Jen. I hope your meeting goes well and have a good rest of your day because I know you're quite early on in the day, Jen.
Julie says you're good, Chris, and the creative process, I guess, is what needs to go slower. Jen wants to know what article, Chris?
Did I mention an article?
I don't recall one.
Oracle. Oracle.
Oracle.
So I'm calling it the Zoracle. It's called the Toke Witch Oracle. Hen. So you know the Toke Witch, Zane, from the chats. Yeah, Jackie is Zane's Oracle. So this is the one that Zane has created from. It's royalty-free images that he's found online. So yeah, I really like it. I really connect with the images, and the deck itself really seems to speak to me loud and clear and really well. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. So if anyone has a question,
does anybody have a question for a reading or just want a general reading, or if you have a question just to chat about stuff? Otherwise, we'll probably just wrap it up and call it an early night. So it's all up to you guys. If you got something for us to work with, we will, and otherwise we'll just let everybody go until next time. Next one won't be until first Monday in September, which I think is the day before my birthday, so that could be fun.
What day is that actually, Robin? Oh
I
no, it's
think I,
fine. It's fine. It's fine.
I
I'm
think
I'm
it's
just
the
thinking
seventh.
my brother's wedding is the first one of the first weeks in 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. Okay, cool. My brother's wedding's on the 10th, but that's not till the Thursday, so we should be all good.
Okay. Nothing?
Don't think we've got anyone.
No. Is there anything you want to read for yourself, Chris, that you want to share?
Do you know, I was trying to rack my brains, but there aren't any questions that pop to
The
mind.
only thing that comes to mind for me is the wedding preparation, all the prep stuff that you've been doing. But I don't know if you want to lay that out there publicly or not.
Do you know, I've avoided doing any readings about my wedding to date.
Yeah.
I can't quite explain why.
Yeah.
Um, I don't really know why I've avoided it. I have. I've not done it.
Oh, Jackie says something about happy ring buying tomorrow. Maybe we should ask about the ring.
Well, let's do it then. Let's pull I'll maybe just pull a single card, and Robin, you can do a reading. So yeah, for anyone in the chat who wasn't here when I said earlier on, I am. Oh, we've got a question, Robin. We now have a
We
question.
do?
Yep. So Knitting Brow has
Wait,
said,
I'm not seeing it, so maybe this is behind a little bit. Oh, there we go. I see it. Oh, there's somebody new in the box. General reading about a story they started to write. Should it become a book?
"Oh, okay. Jilly, my wedding is my wedding is next February, but my brother is also getting married, and he's getting married next month." Right, Knitting Brow.
I think I need to reshuffle. My magician flipped over in the deck, so that's a kind of a neat trick.
Mm. Oh, I think that speaks volumes for if you think of the question and what the magician is.
Yeah. He went back to front. So I don't know. What do you think that means with relation to a story becoming a book?
So the magician is that kind of very active, outwards, divine masculine type energy, isn't he? He is the epitome of putting your skills out there for the world to see, whereas the high priestess is that wee bit more reserved. She keeps to herself a bit more, and she's blooming well hard to get information out of sometimes. So to me, the magician is telling you go for it, showcase your talents, show everyone. Do you know what I mean? Put it out there for the world to see. But let's pull some cards.
Yeah, I've got some here for you. I've got the lovers, the fool, and the hierophant or the pope. So this says to me that publishing is probably a good partnership, and the fool, go ahead and take the leap. But the Hierophant there, you might need a little bit of guidance. I don't know whether the guidance is from the publisher or from some outside authoritative figure, a teacher or an advisor that knows a little bit more about the publishing world than you do. So it's a very brief reading, but I think it's an encouraging one. Go ahead and try to make this a book, your story into a book, but I think you're going to need a little bit of assistance, some kind of partnership, in the lovers and the hierophant, some kind of partnership that may involve guidance of some sort.
I'm totally getting that as well. I would really concur with that. I've pulled 3 cards. I've done a situation card, I've got a do this card, and I've got a don't do this card. Just quickly though, before I forget, Little Zen Crone said congratulations. Mr. Honey and I were married in September the 2nd of 1994. Thank you for the congratulations. That is an amazing amount of time to have been married, Jilly. I watched Jilly's hashtag Get to Know Your Tarot Tubers A to Z quite recently, and I saw her talking about Mr. Honey, and oh, it's just so nice to hear her talk about him. You can tell she completely dotes over him, and she loves him to bits, and it's really really nice. So no, I'm really
Yeah.
happy for you both. So sorry.
She's running out to put food on the grill for Mr. Honey. So good night, Chili.
Oh, see you later, Jelly. You have a good night. Right, Knit and Brow. So the situation card that I've got is the rainbow. So exactly what Robin was saying there. Robin was saying you might need to take some advice from an outside party. You might need to take, pull in an agent, pull on someone who's got expertise in the things that you don't know about the process. And I mean, that really marries up with the idea of publishing and putting a book out there. You're going to have to go to someone else, to kind of do things for you, to advise you on what's the best way to do it. So definitely, pick up on that advice, like follow that advice to pull on that expertise. Don't try and do everything yourself. The rainbow card, the reason I'm saying this is because a rainbow is created when almost it's like fire and water coming together. It's when the sun shines through the rain droplets, yeah. And it creates this amazing, beautiful phenomenon, spectacular rainbow that we see. That's the product of it. So there's a real potential there for you to work with the experts in the areas that you maybe don't know so well, to create something really beautiful, and really amazing. Okay. For the advice for the do this card, we've got inspiration, and it's actually a typewriter.
Oh, that's cool.
It's someone writing. So I don't think I really need to we don't need to think too hard on that one. I think it's an absolute go for it. Just you keep doing what you're doing. Pull on your inspiration from your muses. Whatever it is that inspires you. Keep that in mind and keep yourself inspired. For don't do this, you need to bear with me here. I'm going to explain how I interpret this. For don't do this, I've got sexual energy. Okay. And you'll see it's some sort of establishment, shall we say, called Sexyland that we're seeing here. All right. So why have we got sexual energy and don't do this? Well, let me kind of try and explain how I kind of pick up on how I would interpret sexual energy. Of course, you're going to have the very literal translation of it. You're going to have the very literal interpretation of it. I don't think that really relates to your question though. So the kind of way that I pick up on this.
Hang on.
Hanging on.
Do you relate it at all to the fact that I pulled the Lovers card, or no? Because I just saw it as a partnership, but maybe there is some romantic aspect to it. I don't know. Go ahead.
Totally. So I was actually just going to say, it brings to mind for me the Lovers. Okay. I know. Obviously I've got this in a don't do position. Okay. Now I maybe interpret the Lovers a wee bit different from the way you just have, Robin. Or I certainly am going to hear. I think if we think about the Fool's journey, through cards, 1 through 5, he's learning what's expected of him. He's learning how to put himself out there. He's learning how to be reserved when he needs to be. He's learning about that mother and father energy, and the teacher, and the Hierophant. He's really he's coming to terms with what he's allowed to do and what he's not allowed to do, what his community, what his family, what they all expect of him. Okay, he's basically learning the rules, and those first 5 cards, but particularly in the mother, the father, and the teacher that 3, 4, and 5 card. When we come to that number 6, when we come to the Lovers card, that is when the Fool starts to rebel. He starts to kind of verge out. I think, right, well, I know that that's what they want me to do, but fuck it, I'm going to go out and do my own thing. I don't really care for listening to them. This is my thing, and I'm going to do it my way. And I don't really care what anyone else thinks or how it affects anyone. The reason that I relate that to the Lovers is because if you think about, a teenager's journey, or a child's journey, they grow up, for the first, 14, whatever it is, years of their life, their mum and dad will be their best friends. They'll do everything that their mum and dad say. They'll learn from their mum and dad. They'll go to school. They'll learn from their teachers, all that kind of thing. It's when they start going through adolescence that they start to kind of really develop that individuality, and they start to rebel against everything that they've been taught, and they start to really want to just do things their own way. Yeah. And quite a lot of the time that will coincide with them taking, getting together with someone for the first time. That is why I interpret the Lovers in that way, and I've not just pulled that out of my ass. That's come from I kind of got that from 78 Degrees of Wisdom. Rachel Pollack kind of talks about that. So some of that might be me, but a lot of that's come from Rachel. So to take it back to the reading, that's how I'm looking at this sexual energy card. Don't verge out and try and do everything yourself and say screw what everybody else thinks. Take advice from the people who've done it before you, okay? So like we said, pull on that expertise, pull in that, those people who are experts in the things that you don't perhaps know what you're doing. For example, you're going to need publishers, you're going to need I don't know anything about, to be honest, in producing a book, but don't dismiss that and take on the advice from the people that have done it before you. Don't try and just do it all your own way and say screw what everybody else thinks. People's advice is really important for you here.
We also don't have all the details of this story, and it makes me wonder. There's also the possibility that Knitting Brow is collaborating with not just a business partner, but a relationship partner in this process that they may be deferring to. I don't know if their partner is financially invested in the project or advising them on the project, or maybe they are the Hierophant guiding figure in the situation. I'm reading a lot in there for, not really having the information, but that's, a possibility. Wait, she just said, or I don't know if it's she or he. I understand that card, especially since it's a story about a magical coming of age. Okay. I'll just leave it at that.
Cool. Right, well, I'm glad that those, that was helpful. It's a he.
Oh, okay.
Knitting Brow's a he.
And Jen just left, and Jilly left, and everybody's left. We might have watchers out there that aren't in the chat. So if anybody wants to sort of come out of hiding and ask a question, please do. If not, we're winding down. It's about 15 minutes to when we usually stop. We can stop earlier. This was extremely helpful. I appreciate the insight. Great. Anybody else? Any closing thoughts then, Chris? Maybe want to pull a card for the week or something?
Sure, I can do. I'll maybe pull a tarot card for the week, actually. Just shake it up a bit, yeah? Let's see. I'll go back to my good old light seers. You're very welcome, Knitting Brow. I'm glad we were able to help. So, pulling a wee card for the week for all of us.
Ooh. My card for the week is the World. And I always read this as stepping out into the world. Although this one, it's not doing much stepping. This figure is just kind of perched on the edge of the wreath there. But looks like they're ready to step out. They've got their robe in order, the cape behind them in red and blue on opposite sides, little halo crown on top, and a scepter in one hand, and sort of looking like, yeah, I'm ready to get out there and do that thing, whatever it might be this week. So yeah, a little bit of encouragement to everybody out there that has some plan they want to pursue and are feeling reluctant about. Take a step, take a giant step.
Cool. It's funny. I think I pulled this same card for the rest of the week. Either the last time we were live, Robin, or the time before that. But I got Temperance.
Mm.
Okay, so there's my card there for everyone for the week. We've got the Temperance card. So Temperance is all about like kind of honing that balance. Everyone has, you know, different aspects of their life to one extent or another. Some might be more extreme. So for those of us who are like maybe in like the tarot closet or whatever it is, who maybe feel like they have like an aspect of their life that people just don't know about, and then they kind of go outside and they deal with their kind of everyday life. That's okay to, you know, if that's what works for you, that's okay. But we all need to have some sort of balance. So here we can see that this chap has got the sun in one hand and the moon in the other, and he's kind of combining those energies in the way that works best for him. That's what the Temperance card is asking us to do. It's asking us to achieve that balance. Now, I said the last time I read this card, and this is another plug for James Feeney, but James has done a video on the Temperance card, and the purpose of his video was to talk about what me and Robin were saying earlier, actually. You know, how in the Thoth it's called the Art card, and in traditional tarot it's called Temperance. And I think, if I remember rightly, he's kind of trying to address why that is. But one of the kind of things that I took from his video, remember that achieving balance isn't always a 50-50 job. If it was, then balance would be piss easy for everyone to achieve. But that's not necessarily always the case. You know, it really depends on what you're doing. Achieving that kind of equilibrium in your life, that balance that works for you, that's a journey. Do you know what I mean? That's something that you have to discover for yourself. Really abstract idea there, but you know, if we apply it to something specific, you know, it depends what we're looking at. So a really mundane, daft example, and I used this last time, but if you're pouring yourself a drink, you know, if you're making yourself up a, you know, a vodka and coke or whatever it is, 50-50. Depending on what kind of measures you like, of course. I might like my drink quite close to 50-50, but generally, if you go to a bar, you're not going to get 50-50. That is not the right balance, you know. So for that particular example, you're talking like maybe 10%, 90%. You know, if we're talking about work-life balance, depending on what your job is, you might look. So you get people that what's the expression? Some people live to work, some people work to live. You know, so the people that work to live are the people that just that hate maybe not hate their job, but their job is a means to an end, so that they can provide for the life that they've got. Whereas you get some people that absolutely love their job is their whole life, and that is what makes them happy. And those are the people that live to work. So you know, depending on what end of the scale you're on or where you are on that spectrum, that'll depend on how you achieve your what balance is right for you, how you achieve that work-life balance. So depending on what kind of example, what kind of scenarios we're thinking about, think about that, how you achieve that balance. That's a process of discovery for you, and it's not supposed to be an easy one. It's one of the major arcana at the end of the day. So yeah, go for that balance.
Okay. I just want to say in closing, for anybody that's still up in that at that hour, 4.5 hours from now, which is 11 p.m. New York City time, my Monday night radio show airs on luxuriamusic.com. And so if you're up and you want to go listen to that, or you download it at a later time, they're usually available for download about 20 minutes after the show starts. And I do word theme shows. And last week, the title theme was city. And this week it's town. So all the songs in my 2-hour set tonight, recordings from the 50s through current time, all have the word town somewhere in the song title, which is always a little bit of fun. So yeah, if you're around and up and want to give a listen or listen later, I encourage you to do so. And there is a chat room there, but it's been so empty lately that I haven't been going, but I'm usually up and about on Facebook. So if anybody wants to chat with me on Facebook about the show or any other issues, I'll be there. So hope to see somebody or enjoy that. Like I said, it's at 11. So, and I guess that's about it for me. And thank you again, Chris, as usual.
No, thank you very much for having me, Robin. I've really enjoyed it.
And thanks to everybody who did show up in the chat and who we don't see that's just listening. Yeah, as we're a couple minutes early, but since no other questions have come up, I guess we might as well call it a night. So see you in September. That's the title of a song. Okay.
Bye, Jackie.
Bye, everybody.
See everybody later.